There are some people who understand their assignment, and a part of their assignment is that they were paying attention to their elders. When their elders were imparting that wisdom to them, they took it and they handled their business. Well, this upcoming guest that you all are about to listen to, Miss Goodrum, she is one of those people. So I want you all to make sure that you have your notebooks and something to write with, because the wisdom and the pearls and the gems that she'll be dropping, please, you definitely do not want to miss.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Real Reading Talk. And I am your most gracious host, Miss Sasha. And with Real Reading Talk, I discuss the real systemic issues that are at the very core, the very foundation as to why there are low levels of reading in the Black community and the ways in which we can combat these issues together. So with that being said, you guys, I am just extremely elated, excited. I'm so pumped because I have a phenomenal guest, y'all. This awesome woman in our community. She has been dedicated to education all of her life. Okay. This is how she grew up. All right. And she has been dedicated to making sure that our young babies here, where we are in the city of East Cleveland, they are being prepared to read. That's right. And so I want all of you to welcome Miss Jacqueline Goodrum. Hello.
Hello. How's everybody doing?
Yes, indeed. Oh my goodness. I am just so excited about this conversation because Miss Goodrum, she is very well respected in the community. People who are about positive change, about seeing our community get better, especially here where we are, like I said, in East Cleveland, where we have an extremely high illiteracy rate here. And the population of people here is, pretty much you might as well say everybody Black. I mean, you got some other people here, but it's definitely about 90% Black. Okay.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you're talking about as it pertains to the economic situation here is, it's very dire. It's an extreme low levels. High levels of poverty here in this city. And unfortunately, as we know, when it comes to reading, we know that if you have high levels of illiteracy, you're going to have high levels of things like poverty and, a lot of things in terms of positive outcomes that we should see, you're not going to see because one of the factors is low level, the high levels of illiteracy. So with that being said, I wanted to have Ms. Goodrum on because, like I introduced her, she is someone who's in the schools of East Cleveland, and she's helping to prepare our pre-kindergartners for reading. But before we get into what she's doing right now, I would love for you, Ms. Goodrum, to introduce yourself to the people. Tell everybody, give us some insight into your background, how you grew up, and what made you even want to get into education.
Well, hi, everybody. My name is Jacqueline Goodrum. I want to start off by saying I am the eighth child out of 10. So when I was 23 years old, I met my grandmother. My grandmother was born June 2nd, 1892. She was a school teacher in Knoxville, Tennessee. And so when she came up to Cleveland and I talked to her for the first time, meeting her in person, she shared a lot of things with me. But there was 3 things that stuck with me the most. Number 1, she said, always stay under the umbrella and protection of God. Number 2, she said, there's no greater reward than educating the minds of young people. And number 3, she said, Jackie, if you take care of your body when you're young, when you get old, your body will take care of you. So now we, all 10 of us, we had to pray every day before we walked out that house to go to school. And so my mom, she came up there to the PT and everything. And when I got, older and had children, I did the same thing. but I was involved in Title One. And when I got involved in Title One, there's a parental piece, and it empowered us. It was a parent organization. We had our own budget. We got to sit in with the principal when he went over the budget. We got to sit in with the principal when he hired teachers. Then we got to go out of town and meet other parents at different places. There was a hotel in New York City. It went out of business, and the parent group in the district bought it, and now it's called the Frederick Douglass Academy in New York City. Yes, and I'll never forget that. So by empowering us and everything, and then I used to help out, and volunteer. And so I said I wanted to do that, and I want to share. When I was younger, my mom said never make a vow to God and go back on it. So our church was having a convention, and she asked for this money. God blessed her with the money, but she said she brought furniture, she bought clothes, she bought shoes, she bought stuff, and when it came time to go, she didn't have it. I came home from school. I was about the second or third grade. I come home from school and we had got put out and we had to go to a foster home. And in that foster home, they mistreated the children. At the dinner table, there was this little young black boy. He used to sit in the middle of the floor and lick the bottom of his shoe every day. And that kind of traumatized me. They wouldn't help him. And so I remember crying every night saying, when I get grown, I'm going to adopt me 100 children. And so when I got grown, I knew I couldn't adopt 100 children, but that's where my passion came in, along with my grandmother, because my grandmother was telling me like back in that those times, it was like a little shack house, and this was Knoxville, Tennessee, and ages 5 to 13 was all cramped up in this one little place. And once you turned 13, that was 18 back then. And so I got to go after she passed away. I went there to Knoxville, Tennessee, a family reunion, and they have her high school graduation program, and it's called the Beck Culture Center. My grandmother was a valedictorian in 1911. She spoke Latin. That was the fluent language back then. And so I have her graduation program, and I cherish that. So and every morning when I wake up and say my prayer, I thank God for her, and I thank her I say thank you, Grandma, for your education DNA that was passed down to me. And so, like I said, my love for just as a child, I said when I get grown, I'm gonna adopt me 100 children because they were mistreating the children there. And so that's where my passion came in, and that's like I said, when my children were in school, I did the same thing for them, and I was involved. And there is no greater reward than educating the minds of young people. I want to say that I was at McDonald's this past Saturday, and a young man that was in preschool, he is 16 years old. He works at McDonald's. He's telling me he knows me. There was another young man that I taught, and he works at Dave's up on Lee Road, up in Cleveland Heights, and he saw it. I took him to Washington with me, and I'm just saying, like my grandmother said, there's no greater reward than educating the minds of young people. And I say, children don't care what you know until they know you care. And when I just go into the schools and talk to the young men and things like that, I address them in a positive manner. And so I even had some of the high school young guys say, Miss Goodrum, where you been? We needed you here a long time ago. You should have been here. And it's because you have to care about them. You have to let them know you care, not just saying it, but they have to know that you really, really care about them. And so that's my passion. I love what I do. I love what I do. And and then I make sure that I let the parents, you have to get involved with the parents. I let the parents know I was a welfare mother, raised by children. So I've been there where you are, struggle and stuff, but I was consistent because of the way I was raised. The Bible says, train up a child in the way that when they get old, they will not depart. So I thank God for my mother, and I bless her spirit every day, with raising 10 of us, and it was hard, but her relationship with God is what kept her and kept us. And, she was just my role model. And like I said, I love what I do, and I let the children know, and I tell them I love them.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm. Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, all of what you just said, and the people listening, I know they were like just listening with their mouths open. I'm quite sure, because just you are like a breath of fresh air. I mean, all of what you said is what it is that's missing and what we need in our communities. I mean, just the fact of you talking about, you remember that little boy being mistreated in that
Oh
foster home,
my, yes.
and how that
I mean,
ignited. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, just I still see it, and I get chilled
Mm.
because he would just sit there in the middle and just pick up his foot and lick the bottom of his shoe. And they, oh my God, they took their time to go see about him. They wouldn't help him or nothing. And I'm just like, and I remember every night I would cry for my mom. My
Mm.
mother said she was only gone for 30 days because she went to Chicago to get some money from one of her brothers, but
Mhm.
she came back and got us.
Right.
She came back and got us. She didn't leave us there. But
Mhm.
but just remembering that, like I said, I just said when I get grown, I'm gonna adopt me 100 children. I made a promise that I was gonna do that, and so now I call myself the modern Harriet Tubman of early childhood education.
And I'm telling you all, she ain't lying with that, okay? And how I came to know Miss Goodrum is because I'm a substitute teacher for the city of East Cleveland. And Miss Goodrum, which I want her to talk about what led her to East Cleveland as well, and then also what led her into, which is quite obvious, but I want you all to hear from her in terms of her being led to the educational realm here in East Cleveland. But what I wanted to just drive home to the people is that even though you experience that trauma, and just like you said, just like with any trauma that any of us have experienced, you can still visualize it. However, what you did was you took that trauma, you took that pain, and you turned it into your passion, turned it into
Yeah,
something that God already had put in you. Just like you said, you had that educational DNA from your grandmother. God put that in you, and you took it and you went and you honed in and you mastered that skill of educating. But first, before you said that, you talked about how the children, well, I love the way you say it. They have to know that you care. Say it, because I love when you say it.
children don't care what you know until they know you care.
Come on. It's like I love and y'all when she said I didn't heard her say that like so many times, and it's like it's just so funny because it's like seemed like when I try to say it, it's almost I be like, man, I be jacking it up like Miss Goodrum say it. I be trying to play it in my head, so I love it because she has been recorded saying it. So I'm gonna go back, and I hope you all as well. Make sure that you go back and listen to you say those beautiful words because, and it reminds me of something that I had heard some years ago too. And it's along the same lines of what you said. You have to connect before you correct. So
Yeah,
again, that connection, right? Because teaching, when you're in the teaching field, that's heart work. You got to have a heart to basically be like, okay, you know what, I'm going to make sure that I'm educating these children, and I'm not just doing it just to get paid. And as we know, yes, you should be paid, you should be
right.
compensated for your work, for what it is that you do. However, your motivation is just like what Ms. Goodrum has been driving home, the fact of you want to see our babies empowered, inspired. And that's what led me
Oh,
to
yeah.
asking you to even be on Real Reading Talk, because I said I need Miss Goodrum to tell everybody, tell everybody what led you to East Cleveland, and about what it is in terms of your planning, what things that you do in terms of preparing our young people to even want to read and to want to learn.
Well, I'm a graduate of Shaw High School. I was in the marching band. And so, they say, you give back to your community. So that's why, I'm here. We moved here in 1969. And so I'm giving back to my community. You know, they say put your money where your mouth is at. People say,
Mhm.
but I was in a marching band, and some of the teachers that I had a very impact on me, and they were profound teachers, and they were teachers who had integrity, and that's what they promoted, and that's what they instilled. Having integrity in yourself and making yourself proud, making your family proud, making your people proud. So, Mr. Alvin Fulton was our band director at Shaw High Marching Band, and today the Shaw High Marching Band is still a phenomenal band.
Yeah.
I mean, they've even went over to over to Asia. So yeah, that's what that's what led me, to give back to my community.
Mhm.
And then the fact that I when this is that was, when I moved here, I was in the ninth grade. And so when my mom passed, I had moved away. When my mom passed, I came back here in 2007. And I've been, back in East Cleveland since 2007, just giving back to the community and, keeping the spirit alive. My mom worked at Shaw also. She was a secretary. She worked at Shaw for a little while, And so, yeah, I love what I do. And so I give back. And I want to share this that, like in the summertime, now my specialty is early childhood education because that's the foundation. That is the foundation. I say nobody is born and say, okay, I'm going to the upper elementary, I'm going to middle school, I'm going to high school, I'm going to college. No, you wake up, you're born, and then you have to learn how to walk, to talk. You got to learn the letters. You got to make the letters make sounds. Sounds, put the letters together, make a word, put the word together, make a sentence, put the sentence together, make a paragraph, and so on and so on. So they have to know the colors, the shapes, all that. And so there's a method to my madness. Like I say, the children, they got to know that you care before they care what you know. And so my thing is when you connect your spirit with that child spirit and think about what if that was you, you know. So and I've seen both sides of the fence on teachers and parents. I've seen those teachers who are there just for a paycheck, but then I've seen those teachers who go out their way to spend their money and really, really care about those children, educate them. Then I've seen those parents who are working two jobs, doing things and still, they trying. And I've seen it. Then I've seen those parents who just take the kids, drop them off, and that's it. They don't care. So I've seen both sides of both of them. So, but like I said, I love what I do, and I know that that's my gift because when I was younger, I always paid attention to listen to my elders, and I made a promise to my ancestors that I was going to help carry the torch, and I made a promise to God. So my mom, told me when I was younger, don't never make a vow to God and go back on it. And so when we went to that foster home and everything, I learned the lesson. It wasn't a vow that I made. She made that vow, but we caught the end of it. So that taught me a lesson: never make a vow to God to go back on it. And I never have done that, and I never will. I just want to share. I was at like summer school. Sometimes I'll be at the high school. I've been at the middle school and upper elementary. But I love early childhood education because that's the foundation right there. That's the foundation that's going to let you know whether they're going to be successful or not. I was at one year. I was at Kirk, and that's the middle school. And I was talking to the young man, and for some reason he wouldn't smile. I just couldn't reach him, but I kept on trying, and I prayed about it. And one day we got to talk, and he said, "Miss Goodrum, let me show you my family." And on his phone, he had Tamir Rice. He was Tamir Rice's brother. And when he showed me that, I was like to myself, he hit my spirit. I said, "That I get it now." But I made him laugh and smile and start talking because I kept on. I refused to give up.
Yes.
And but when he showed me that picture, my heart just like wow, and I just hugged him, and I said, "I love you." And then I just start talking. So when I see our young men, I say, I love to see you young Black Kings. How y'all doing today?" Stuff like that and everything. And I don't say, "Can I pray for you? Can I pray with y'all? Can I pray with y'all?" Yeah, like that. And the last thing I tell them when I leave, guess what? I need you to do one thing for me. I need you to stay in your body because we need you. You are our future leaders. And that's how I leave my conversation with them. And I get the utmost respect from them. Yeah.
So basically, Ms. Goodrum, what you're telling me is that you interact with our youth. You don't act afraid of them. You don't act like that. You don't come at them as if they, are trouble. You don't come at them in a condemning way or berate them or shaking your head already like, I don't know what's gonna happen to y'all. So you come with the positivity, the upliftment.
Right. Instead of pointing my finger, I hold my hands out and I embrace them with love. That's what they're looking for. Exactly. That's what they need. Even when we're in their pants down, I'll go and whisper in their ear, "Excuse me, pull your pants up, pull your pants up." Oh, okay. It's not what you say, it's how you say what you say.
Come on.
It's how you say what you say, and they know when you real.
Yep. All day. Children,
but like I said,
spot when you ain't sincere, when you ain't authentic. They smell it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And I don't call myself a teacher. I call myself an educator. Because see, educators going to educate you from the spiritual part as well as everything else. A teacher is going to teach you what the book says.
Come on.
It's a different, what the book say but what comes from the heart and the soul and the spirit, that's greater. That you can reach a child better like that. Remember the story Helen Keller with Sally Field? When I saw that, I was a little girl. This lady, she was blind and she couldn't see, but Helen Keller got in the movie. Sally Field played Helen Keller, and
Okay.
she got to her and she taught her, and
Mhm.
and the young girl grew up to become an ambassador and everything. So I'm like, there's no such thing as a child can't learn.
Thank
You
you.
gotta, you know, my this is my thing. If my spirit, if I can connect my spirit with your spirit, we're gonna learn.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I love how you kept going back to the foundation. First and foremost, the foundation of keeping God.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah. Yeah.
that definitely resonates with me. Even, even though we are two different faiths, we still worship the one God. We know
Yes.
God is
Yes.
the creator. You
Yes.
understand? And we know that
Yes.
with God, all things are possible. So that's first
Oh,
and
that's right.
foremost. And
Yes.
then the fact
Yes.
how we've connected as well, because I'm a pre-K through fourth grade reading tutor, and that's my sweet spot when it comes to those babies. When it comes to those babies who are
Mm-hmm.
learning how to read, oh, I just
Yeah.
love it. Because just like you, the whole aspect of when you see that light bulb click, when you're teaching them their letters, and next thing you know, they
Right.
come back and they're telling you all the letters, all the sounds, and then they are putting the letters together and they're saying these words. I mean,
Yes.
it's just so phenomenal. It's like, oh my, tell every. So we're gonna fast forward. Obviously, you've been educating. How long have you been educating in East Cleveland at the pre-K level?
It'll be 14 years in March.
Woo! Oh my goodness. So we can
But
definitely
yeah.
safely say you've mastered that skill as it pertains to preparing our babies in the early childhood space.
Mm-hmm. Now, 3 of those years, I was with 4th, 5th, 6th grade special education. I was the assistant teacher, and I
Okay.
used to tell people, I'm not in college reading about it in a book. I'm working with somebody who has a PhD in special education. And
Mm.
let me tell you, I
Mhm.
had those parents at the church I belonged to. When
Yes.
we had our youth Sunday, do you know those parents were bringing their children to church and they were involved in the programs?
Wow. Wow.
Yes. My mom was a minister as well. My background
Okay.
is ministry and educators. So
Yeah.
my mom was a minister. My uncles that was ministers and stuff like that. And so yeah, but yeah, they were coming to church. They were coming. The parents were coming to church. Like I said,
Mm.
you got to make that connection with those parents. And like I said, I tell them I've been on welfare, so I've been there. I've been there you know. But when that Title One is what empowered me,
Yeah.
and then I ran for the school board, Cleveland School Board of Education. I was the last elected slate. I was with Gerald Henley, Cynthia Triplett, Genevieve Mitchell, Shirley Hall, and Stephen Sullivan. God bless his whole and God bless Shirley Hall. But I was with them on there, and the late great Fannie Lewis. I had a conversation with her. Um,
Ooh.
uh, Miss C.J. Prentice had a conversation with her.
Oh
I
my.
mean, God has truly blessed me. God, the places I've been, God made that happen because I was humble, and I put my passion and my heart into what I was doing.
Mm. You just got me so excited because first of all, these are two now. When you said Fannie Lewis and CJ Prentice,
Yeah.
these are two people that I was around due to the fact of my grandmother, Gloria Silly Rice. She is passed on now. And she had lived in East Cleveland for the latter part of her life
Mm-hmm.
before she had
Mm-hmm.
moved, before she had passed. But
Mm-hmm.
that was, I mean, she was the one who embedded in me the activism spirit. And so when you mention those two, I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised if I probably seen you back in the day at one of the marches or something. Because my grandmother, she had us marching, Miss Goodrum. She had us with the picket signs. She had us, at the sit-in when they had the Cleveland State sit-in back during
Mm-hmm.
that time when Dr. Raymond Wimbush was the vice president of minority affairs at Cleveland State. I mean, so I'm saying all this to say, to bring home the fact, number one,
Mm-hmm.
you have been given the tools, the foundation through your mother, through your grandmother, your whole family. You have a whole line of educators, a whole line of activism. So
Yeah.
my question is though, Ms. Goodrum, what can we do to actually bring that spirit back into our people? Because what you are saying and what we are hearing is that that's really one of the key missing components, that connection to our elders, that aspect of valuing education, and all of these things, by the way, is connected back to what our ancestors had taught us in Africa. All of these
Yes.
things that you're talking about, this is an African mindset, an African centered mindset, right? But as you know, and you've been knowing this way before I've been knowing this, and have been seeing this, especially here in the city of East Cleveland, right? Because you came at a time in '69 where Black
Yeah.
people were thriving, where you had a
Yes.
lot of thriving businesses, you had people owning their homes, you had
Yes.
beautiful communities, neighborhoods. But then you look
Yes.
now, it's like degradation, condemnation, a lot of people not caring. How can we bring back that spirit, that energy that you were raised upon? What can we do?
Well, first of all, what's missing, we have to get back with God. We got to get back. We got to get back with God,
Mhm.
and we got to get the love for each other again. We got to care about each other, not
Mm.
just my friends and my family. We got to care about everybody because we are the community. When I was coming up, community looked out for each other. We've lost that.
Yeah.
We've
Yeah.
lost that. We got to get back to respecting our elders because they have the
Mhm.
wisdom. Like they say that we call on the elders because they know the way, and we go call on the young because they have the strength and energy. And well, we need to bridge that together.
Yeah.
There's some people that's doing it. We need to do it more so. And then we have to watch what we're doing because the children are watching us. And when they see us acting up with no integrity and cutting and clowning, what example are we showing? They have nothing to see. So we have to be the ones to set the example so that they can. We just can't point the finger and tell them to do this, and you tell them to do it, but you're not doing it.
So we got to
So
throw
we
out the
need to.
window, then do as I say, not as I do. We got to throw that out the window. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, we
Gotcha.
definitely got to throw that out the window, and we got to. What to say? Don't forget the old landmark. We got to go back to, not going back in history, but we got to go back to loving each other and caring and seeing about each other because we are our sisters and brothers.
Yep. Yep.
What's the song they say? It's a love thing. It's a love thing, and that's what it's
Mhm.
got to be. It's got to. We got to go back to that being the love thing. Let the group I forgot the name of the group that made it, but it's a love thing. The Whispers. Yeah, we got to
Okay.
get back to that.
Oh.
Frankie Beverly and Mays, happy feelings in it. We got to get back to those happy feelings. Just kind words. How are you feeling today? Because sometimes that's all. That somebody just needs you to say something to them. You never know what a kind word would do to somebody. People they're not hearing that. They're not seeing that nobody cares for them.
Right.
Sometimes um, I don't try to get in the parents' business, but they know me in school. They talk about
Mhm.
church and state. I'll walk up to a parent and say, what, can I give you a hug? And I hug them, and I'm like, can I say a prayer with you? Not for you, with you. And we
Mhm.
pray together. I sure will on the spot and don't care.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. So, it's not what you say, but it's how you say what you say and what you do. Because somebody is always watching you. So if you tell it, you want to do this and you do that, don't say it, prove it by your words, by your works. Let your work speak for you, not your words. Because that's two different things.
Mm. But you know what I'm hearing though? I'm gonna say this to you though, Miss Goodrum. You're saying that we have to get back to that spirit first and foremost, obviously, keeping God in the center, keeping God the
Yeah.
foundation of our lives.
Yes.
And then you
Yeah.
talked about having love for each other, but I have to push back because guess what, Miss Goodrum? What about those people who will exemplify that they don't love themselves? Because
Right.
we both know that typically when you see somebody who's throwing out hurt, as the saying
Mhm.
goes, hurt people, right? So
Right.
if you're
Right.
throwing
Right. Right.
out all kind of garbage, trash, only thing that come out your mouth is raunchiness. The only thing
Mm-hmm.
that you doing, you're attracted to crazy, traumatic behavior. So
Mm-hmm.
how do we get to the people to help them with changing their mindset so that they can start valuing themselves first?
Well,
What
see,
would your thoughts with that?
we have to lead by an example.
Okay.
We have to lead by an example. People, because like I said, somebody is always watching you.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody is always watching you. And like I said, when Trayvon Martin's brother, I didn't know that's who he was, but I just kept saying to myself, I can't get him to open up. He was so closed in, and he was angry and everything. And I'm like, wow. But I kept on with a soft, gentle voice, and I
Mm.
kept showing love, and I didn't give up. I was persistent. I wasn't overbearing and overwhelming, and I distanced myself, but I still let him know I care about you. I care about you, and I use the word love. I love you.
Mm.
you know, and I, and like I said, I was, the young ones, I said, do you have your boy power turned on? You get your girl power turned on?
Okay.
I just, you got to show them, like I said, it's not just what you say, but showing them that you love them. Doing nice little things, sometimes just a kind word, but being persistent with it. Because, when you do it every now and then, no, but when you constantly do something,
Yeah.
when you constantly, it causes a ripple effect.
Mm-hmm.
It causes a ripple effect. So we gotta show them, you know, what does the scripture say? With love and kindness have I drawn men unto thee. With
Mm.
love and kindness, not
Mm.
harsh words, not persistent, or you gotta do this and you gotta do that. No. And
Mm.
you gotta know how to give them space too.
Right.
Give them space. And then,
Right.
and ask them questions and to give them the feeling that you're in control. You got the power. So now what would you like me to do? How can I
Mm.
help you? And then that's when they start opening up. But it takes patience, because you gotta have patience. Where they say Rome wasn't built in the night, you gotta have patience because nothing happens quick.
Right.
But the thing is, we can't give up.
Mm.
We can't give up. We can't give up on our babies. And I tell people the things our ancestors went through for us,
Yeah.
and what kept them is because of their relationship with God.
Yeah.
That's what kept them. And now we're reaping the benefits of what they went through for us. And
Mm-hmm.
so now we have to do the same thing for those now and for those that's not born yet. I
Mm.
was at the march on August 26th. I was in Washington, D.C. with the
Mm-hmm.
National Action Network, Reverend Al Sharpton, and all those organizations.
Mm-hmm.
When the George Floyd get your knee off my neck, I was down there then. And you know what I
Mm.
said? I said, God, I wasn't here when Dr. King was here, but I'm here now, not just for my grandbabies, but I'm here for those babies that's not even born yet, just like our ancestors did for us. They didn't know us, but they went to God on behalf of us.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
So you gotta love what you do. When you love what you do, it's not a job.
Right. And
But
and
we owe it. We owe it because our ancestors went through too much for us.
that's right. That's right. And I'm glad that because that you actually gave a segue when you talk about you got to love what you do and put your passion into it and caring, because I would like for you to tell everybody, first of all, some of the things that you are doing currently in the classrooms as it pertains to our young children, our the early child, for those early childhood children. Tell
Okay.
us, tell the audience some of the things that you've done with them, so they can really hear how
Okay.
effective you are. Yes.
Okay. So when school first started, I introduced myself to the parents
Mm-hmm.
and let them know how I am and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I get permission to take pictures because at the end of the year, I take pictures all on and it turned into a photo album book. So they have
Right.
a memory book.
Okay.
So I have the children. I make their name into a puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
And then I tell them, I said, okay, the first letter is capital. Now remember that's your name is important. You got to take care of your name because it's special. Then what I do, remember the song, the name game? Every child, okay, so like Ariel, Ariel, Bobel, Banana, Pineapple, Fail,
Oh yeah.
P, Fab, Mobile,
Yes.
Ariel.
Uh-huh.
So, and they laugh. But then when they spell their name, capital Ariel, I will try and I won't fail. Then it's capital Porter, I am Porter and I'm going far. Capital Jaylin, I am Jalen and I win. Capital Julia, I'm Julia and I'm going all the way. So each child has a rhyme to their spelling their name. First, they learn how to spell the name. Then I say, okay, how many letters in your name? Okay. So your name is the first name. That's important. Now your second name. So, and then also, like I said, I do the name game right. I'm doing stuff that's laughing and stuff like that. So then when I teach them the shapes, they don't say diamond anymore. They call it a rhombus. So I'll tell one of the kids, I say, tell your mom the story about the diamond. It used to be a diamond, but it graduated, and now it's called a rhombus. And so I have a, the way that I teach them the shapes and stuff and everything, the colors. And so then uh we have a carpet. The carpet has the letters A to Z. So
Mhm.
as they're singing the song ABCD, we're walking on the letters. So once they get the letters and the sounds, then I say, okay, let me show you how to spell mom. Okay, go to the
Mm.
M-O and another M. I said, now watch this. You turn it upside down and it's wow. Because moms are wow. And so they learn how to spell mom. And wow. Then I teach them how to spell dad. Then I said, who loves a mom? Who love their grandma? So then we go L. Now they're stepping on the letters. L-O-V-E. I love mom and mom loves me. Okay. Now your turn. You got to do dad. Then they walk the letters. L-O-V-I. I love dad and dad love. Your turn. You got to do grandma. Your turn. You got to do granddad. Your turn. You got to do family. Your turn. You got to do yourself.
Mm.
Love. Hug yourself. I love myself and myself love me. Then I
Oh.
say, okay. Then I say, you got your boy power turned on? You got your girl power turned? Let's turn it on. So I go through that. I go through that. I go through open up our eyes so we can see. Okay, can you see? Open up your ears so you can hear. Then I'll say, okay, I'm gonna give you a word. The word is, and I whisper. Great. I say something, silly. You said the word is echo. The word is okay. The word is healthy living. And then okay. So now we taste. So they go. I said, now we smell what I know, breathe. I said, okay, then we're going to take three deep breaths. Go, one, two, three. I said, and then we touch. So they clap their hands. I said, do it fast. So they rub their hands. What do you feel? What do you feel? You feel that that's the blood going up our body, making our body warm. You feel that? Do it faster like that. Oh, I feel it. I said, you feel it? You feel it? I said, okay. Then I say, okay, jump up. Let's jump up and down. And I say, then I shake your arms, shake your legs, turn around, touch the ground. I say, okay, your turn. You got to do it. Okay. Jalen said, turn around. So we turn. Ariel said, touch the ground. Okay. I said, okay, we're done. I said, okay, now let's turn. Our brains are already on, but let's turn our power on. Now get that girl power turned on.
Mm.
Get that boy power turned on. Now we ready to learn. We are ready to learn. And then we go through the days of the week and stuff like that and everything, and I just I do singing, I do rhymes. They love it when I do their names, you know. So now we have another Kate in the classroom, and we have a Jackson, but he spells his name Jaxon. So I'm like Jackson, Bobaxon, Banana, Fanimal, Faxon, Feed, Fabmo, Maxon, Jackson, the name gang. Let's get some do me. And I'm doing everybody. Okay, so then so one day we were spelling the word stop. So I said, look, oh, y'all, guess what? Look. We looking on the floor. O-P, O-P. Oh, they live right next door to each other. Look at this. S and T and the O and the P, they next door neighbors like that.
Right.
And so then when we get ready to leave the classroom, I said, okay, we got to spell go. Good. Okay, then they go step on the G and the O. Okay, now go get in line. Your turn. They got step on the G, the O, your turn. Okay, go get mine like that. That's we do like that.
Right.
And like I say, no, I just love what I do. I love
I
what I
mean,
do,
if
and like
Miss Goodrum is absolutely apparent. I mean, you got me over here giddy, 49 years old. I'm like, oh man. I'm like, oh my goodness. But that right there, that's a prime example of someone who is passionate, who loves what they do, and how do you know it's working? Because the kids are responding, because the kids are demonstrating the things that they have learned. That's how you know that it's working. And I
and
wanted you. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh, I'll say, and you know what I did last year, and I'm doing it now.
Okay.
Remember James Brown said loud, I'm black and I'm proud.
Right.
So one day I was in the class, say it loud. Then he said, I'm proud and I'm proud. Then say it loud, I'm proud and I'm proud.
That's right. and see what you're doing. I mean, and this is a great way to get ready to end the podcast, because I just feel like right here, this is what the people we gonna end on this high because of the fact. I mean, you drove home. Number one, you started with themselves. You started with their name. So right there, you are teaching them to value themselves. Then you start going into their family, their mother, of course, the father, the grand. I mean, you just went down the line. So what you're doing, you are teaching these Black babies that yes, you are worthy, you are valuable, and don't let nobody ever tell you any differently. Now you're
Yes.
ready to learn. Now you got that boy power. Now you got that girl power, because now you came with your whole self. And I truly,
Hmm.
truly believe, Ms. Goodrum, what you're doing is you're driving home the main ingredient as to what has been missing as it pertains to our children. I say our children, I'm talking about our Black children first and foremost.
Yes.
Yes, I care about all
Yes.
babies, but I care about our children first, especially with
Yes.
the
Me too.
dire straits that we're in as it pertains to
Yes.
literacy, and everything else is positive. But I
Yes.
love the fact how you're driving home. Hey, look, you are coming with your whole self, period,
Hmm.
point blank. Don't let
Yeah.
nobody tell you differently. This is you,
Yeah.
this is your family, and we want to know you. We need to know you. We need you here in this space. And so I
And I would
really hope that people really got that because I know that's what you were driving home. Go ahead.
I
I'm sorry.
I want to say that out of 12 children this past school year, 8 of those children was spelling 25 to 30 words. I've had parents sending me
Come
text
on.
messages and stuff saying, they got to school, and one parent sent me a picture of her son went to school with the teacher and said he is so smart, and
Mm,
just say I'm gonna bring Kate up there to see, and another lady, it was her granddaughter, but she's the parent, a parent of. She is the president of the parent organization at Prospect right now, and
mm.
she said, "I'm gonna bring Kamaya up here to see." She said, "Cause she's doing great. I'm gonna bring her up here to see you one day, Miss Goodrum." So like I said, and at the end of the year, I have a photo album that I give them, and that's from the time they start to the end, of pictures of showing what they did, the things, so they could have something to remember them by. And then I have a friend
Mm.
of mine, and I got permission from our CEO one year. They were in the newspaper, said our future leaders. Put them in the newspaper. Yes.
Y'all, she just gave a whole recipe on how we can literally begin to change this system around as it pertains to educating our babies. She literally did. So I really hope that with all of these jewels and gems that you might got to go back and listen to it again, which I highly recommend that you do. Make sure that you share it, because right here she gave some serious gems, jewels, game, all of that. So there's no way that you all can listen to this and not feel empowered and inspired to make sure that you are doing this with your children. And even say if your children are already they're already grown, you can do it with your grandbabies, your nieces and nephews. Maybe you don't have any kids. You can still implement this anytime you are around children, you have some type of connection with children. I just hope that you all just remember these words from Miss Goodrum, because Miss Goodrum, she is truly a pillar and an asset to our community. And I just want to tell you, thank you, thank you, and thank you.
Thank you for having me on here. And I thank God, and I thank my ancestors as
Yes.
always, because if it wasn't for I do what I do because of our ancestors and because of the way I was raised and taught.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I love it. I love it. Well, I want to go ahead. I'm going to end right now, Miss Goodrum. I appreciate you
And
once again for accepting my invitation to be a
thank
part
you.
of Real Reading Talk, because you
Thank you for inviting me.
yes, definitely. You are doing some things for our community that people just really truthfully, for those who get it, they know, they know. For those who don't know, oh, you gonna know. You gonna know, because guess what? The kids that she's educating right now, oh please. She already talked about the ones she already had educated before, and the ones that's being educated now by her. Oh, they're gonna grow up, God willing, inshallah. They are going to be phenomenal. Trust and believe they are, because they get in the foundation, and we appreciate you. And I want to again thank you. I appreciate you as my audience, right? For listening, for taking the time to, listen to me on whether Spotify, it's YouTube, Google Podcasts, wherever you're listening to this dope podcast. Because again, Real Reading Talk, we are on a mission. All right. We are on a mission to eradicate the high levels of illiteracy in the Black community. And
Yes.
again, I am bringing on guests who have value, guests who are doing the damn thing, okay? All right, who are about empowerment, because of the fact of, if we want to see change, we want to make change, we got to make sure that we surround ourselves with people who are on that same mindset. So again, I thank you all for listening to another episode of Real Reading Talk. My name is Miss Sasha, And this has been episode 16. All right, you all take care. And remember, reading is freedom. Peace.
God bless.
Hey, y'all know what it is. I mean, you talk about the pearls, the gems, the nuggets, the dimes. She was dropping it all. She was dropping it all. Miss Goodrum, the modern day Harriet Tubman, educator. And she ain't never lied when she said that. When she named herself that, she has never lied with that, okay? Trust and believe. Like I told y'all, when I first met her, when I was subbing in one of the schools, and she's not the lead educator, that's the thing that I just was blown away by. And just how the ideas just flow from her. But as you all heard in her testimony and our conversation, see, she paid attention. She listened to her elders. And then she got developed into her own self. And she continued that education legacy. We got to keep looking within, y'all. We have to quit thinking that other folks can have the answer. We have to trust ourselves more. And we have to go back. Sankofa, go back, return and get it, y'all. We got to. We can and we will. Inshallah, God willing. All right, so with all that being said, let me get down to my housekeeping business. My name again, Miss Seisha. All right, and I am a pre-K through fourth grade reading tutor. The name of my reading tutoring business is ABC Learn Tutoring. Been in this game since 2007, y'all, okay? As it pertains to preparing our babies in reading, all right? Please go to my website, abclearntutoring.com. Click on that free reading assessment. If you're struggling, you're trying to help your child with their phonics, phonemic awareness, their comprehension, their confidence in their reading, basic writing skills. If you are struggling with that as a parent or a caregiver, and that's something that you might be getting a little frustrated, a little impatient, or you feel like you don't have the time, please contact me, all right? Also, I have a fall reading camp coming up this Saturday. It's going to be for 4 Saturdays only in this month of October, because I want to make sure that our babies are getting it as it pertains to the foundational skills that they need when in reading. Quit waiting until the teacher calls and says, oh my goodness, they're about to fail. Quit waiting to the last minute. Be proactive. I'm telling you, it is life changing. All right. Also, I have a virtual reading club that I started for 3rd and 4th graders. If your child is a little older and they want to be a part of it, or a little younger, and they can keep up with the reading pace of the reading club, this will be great for them. Or even if they just want to enjoy the conversation, maybe they are still maybe struggling a little bit with reading, but this is a great way for them to engage in a book that is relevant to our children. All right, has Black characters. Also, the dialogue, the family dynamic, the entrepreneurship dynamic of the book. It's an all-around excellent read. I highly recommend that you all sign your child up today. Very affordable. You will love it. All right. And also, I have a YouTube channel called Reading is Freedom. Make sure that you subscribe to that. This podcast will be uploaded to that as well. Reading is Freedom. Also, subscribe to our nonprofit YouTube channel, ABC Read. All right, ABC Read is the nonprofit 501c3 that I started in 2014. Our mission is to develop and nurture a culture of literacy in Black and underserved communities. We've been doing that by giving away books that are new or gently used, that our majority represents Black people, Black culture, Black experiences, Black history. All right, on purpose. We have dope reading events that are intergenerational. All of our ages, all of our groups of people come and they enjoy the activities, the read alouds, the hands-on activities, just the engagement, the conversation, all centered around literacy, man. That's dope. You need to see what we've been doing, abcread.org. And I also started a brand called Reading is Freedom. All right, Reading is Freedom is the merch that I sell. Go to readingisfreedom.store. That was birthed out of 2019, the reading event that we had at Stonebrook, and I had on the bags, Reading is Freedom. And after that, I took it and I ran the effing play. Shout out to Beyond Win on that one. And I said, I'm going to turn this into a brand, and it's in the process of getting trademarked right now. All right. So with all of that being said, this is what I do. And I hope that you all go check out those things because this is benefiting our community. All right. And I want to share with you all the book that I've been reading. I just started from the awesome, lovely Dr. Swad El Islam out of Philly, y'all. Oh my goodness. She's written other books as well. This is her latest book, Nobody Loves Us and We're Not Okay. Ooh, that's a serious title, y'all. My childhood, my schools, my hood. All right. And I already read the first chapter, which is awesome, very heartfelt. Her talking about with beautiful descriptive language. She's excellent as it pertains to descriptive writing, using all of those colorful adjectives and vivid imagery that you have in your mind. You can envision yourself being back during her childhood and the different things that she dealt with, the struggles as well as the good times that she remembered growing up in the hood, and how she was seeing all of these negatives and these degradation in the community, all right, as it pertains to Black people. And she's addressing that, but also how even with all of that, she's still, as I said, she's Dr. Swad Islam. But that came from her having that foundation of her family, all right? And so I highly recommend you all get that book as well. And last but not least, I'm going to leave with a quote. And I know I said this quote before, but I definitely believe that it's applicable, especially to in line with the conversation that I had with Ms. Goodrum. Also, to just understanding how anytime that we want to be the best at something, we have to develop habits with it, right? So excellence is not an act, it's a habit. And that was something I said before, and that was from Quincy Jones. But it's true because Ms. Goodrum talked about that in terms of the mastery. In order to get better at something, you have to continuously do it. It has to become a habit. And so that's something that we got to get back into. We're not used to that as of lately in our communities. We're used to the one and dones. We're used to the one-offs. You know, it's not about, let me get my grind in, let me master my skill, let me hone in on my craft, let me get out there, make mistakes. It's like, nah, you know what I'm saying? I put my stuff out there and then that's it. And then I just move on to the next. No, we have to teach our children whatever craft that they have, whatever skill that they have, they got to keep working at it and keep grinding until it gets to the point to where now it's mastered. That's what Dr. Asa Hilliard talked about, mastery. And so that's something that we got to get back to. And I believe that we can do it when we start with ourselves, our families, our community, and then we branch and connect globally, period. All right, y'all. I said, I got to stop talking. You know, you keep talking so much and then you get tongue tied and be slipping on words and all of that. But with that being said, again, my name is Ms. Seisha. I thank you all for listening to another episode of Real Reading Talk. This was episode 16, season 3. I'm still running strong, y'all. I'm still doing it. And I appreciate you all listening. Old heads, new heads. Make sure you share, like, comment, hit the notification bell, all of that. It's on all the podcast platforms. All right. You all take care. All right. Reading is freedom. Peace.